Hello vintage outboard motor fans, this is T-Mike here in South Louisiana making another video today. Today's video is going to be how to reassemble a vintage outboard motor once you've taken it apart, cleaned it, and rebuilt all the components. This video is going to have a special twist on it because I'm going to bring in my right-hand man, Matthew, to do this. How old are you, Matthew?
16.
Matthew's 16 years old. How long have you been with me, Matthew?
4 years.
Matthew's been with me 4 years. He started when he was 12, feeding my pigeons and rabbits and chickens. And during the interview, I gave him the test for him to come to work. He had to be able to carry a 50-pound sack, 10 feet, and put it in the feed barn. And he did it. So he graduated from there about a year ago now, or 2 years ago. I had started him taking motors apart, and paid him $50 to take motors apart for me to list on eBay. And I guess about a year ago now, he's graduated from that to run my eBay store. Takes the motors apart, takes the pictures, does the listing, ships them, runs my whole eBay store. Well, he has recently expressed an interest in restoring the motors. So this is going to be his first try, and it's a kind of unique event because this is motor number 100. It's a 1954 CD10 5.5 Johnson, and I had always said when I got to motor 100 that I was going to stop doing the restores. Well, when Matthew asked me to learn how to do the restores, I decided to keep going, but let Matthew do the restores with my help. So I'm going to document this kind of in a quick chapters on the steps of putting it back together, and I'm gonna let Matthew, you'll see Matthew's hands in there doing the work. You ready, Matthew?
Yes, sir.
All right, if everybody's ready, here we go. All right, so Matthew's ready. He's even got a matching shirt color. So here's the restore we're going to be working on. As I said, it's restore number 100. It's a 1954 Johnson 5.5 CD10. The power head has 80-50 compression, which does not pass. It's supposed to be within 10%, and that's 30% difference. So I wanted to put this together with that. I've never experienced an unbalanced power head before. We'll see how it runs. So it's all laid out. Matthew just got through cleaning all the bolts and everything. I did the tear down and the rebuild. That's Matthew's next step, is to do that. I've rebuilt the carb, rebuilt the magneto. We did the rewind starter, rebuilt the gear case with seals and impeller, pressure tested it. Everything's painted, ready to put back together. I still have the decals to put after I finish the painting. So we're ready to get started. Matthew, you've taken these apart before, so what do you think we got to start with?
This piece right here.
And what?
Put it with this.
Right, the bracket and the gear case, the bracket and the exhaust housing. So take it over here, set it down.
Put the springs in these, just like that.
And we have four springs to put in here on the top, 2 of them, and 2 of them down below in here. The springs are sitting right here, shock absorber springs with bolts that go through holding them in. So Matthew's going to tackle that. We'll come back to him when he's done. Okay, Matthew, did you get it?
Yes, sir.
All right, show us what you did.
So put the 2 springs right here.
Yep.
And then you put the bottom springs right here, and then you put that metal strap across.
Cool. So you got the exhaust housing now assembled to the bracket. So what's next?
The gear case.
All right. So show us what you're gonna do.
Put this coming from the bottom.
All right.
And you gotta line up it with the holes that are in the bottom.
And the water tube. And you got to make it come up through the shift handle right here. So we'll do that now. Okay, so Matthew stabbed the gear case into the exhaust housing. He made the drive shaft come up through this compartment, and he's got the shift rod into the shift handle, which we got to put a couple of nuts right here. And he's now putting the 4 bolts and hold it all together. Not bad, Matthew. I think I'll keep you. So here we go with day 2. Matthew has got the exhaust housing, or the gear case, stabbed through the exhaust housing. So what you got going on now, Matthew?
Now I'm filling it up with oil and it's dripping out right now. So I'm going to close the valve.
So you got an automatic gear oil system. You leaking on the floor, Matthew? Cool. What's the next step, Matthew?
So we put these screws back in, and then we're going to be putting the power head on the top.
Power head on the top. The first thing that goes in are all these springs and washers on the drive shaft here. And then we set the power head on top and put these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts and have the power head on. Moving on, huh, Matthew?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Matthew's got the power head on. What's next, Matthew?
The steering handle. So we're going to put this in here.
The gear shaft.
Then you get your steering handle, and then you're going to put it in.
Cool. All right, we'll come back after he gets that done. All right, Matthew's got his steering handle on. So he put in the gear shaft first, put the pinion gear here that we still have to paint. He put this pinion gear first, then put this pinion gear on the gear shaft, and then put his throttle control label there, and slip this handle on with the screw. Cool. What's next, Matthew?
Carburetor and the fuel connector.
Carburetor and fuel connector going on. We're going to work on the fuel system. Stay tuned. Matthew's cheating. Matthew got him a DeWalt gyroscopic screwdriver. Watch how that works. It's got a gyroscope in it. When he sets the screw in place, all he got to do is twist it the way he wants it to go, that way. Undo it now, Matthew. Watch when he moves it the other way, it unscrews. You move it to the right, and it screws it in. That's cheating. Us old fogies didn't have that when we were growing up, Matthew. You dog, you. Okay, Matthew's got the carb on and the fuel connector on. So, what are you going to do next, Matthew?
We're going to install the tower, and then we're going to connect the fuel lines.
Easier to run the fuel lines before you put the mag on, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. All right, Matthew's got his fuel lines ran. So he did a fuel pump conversion on this from a 2-line to a single line. I have a video on that. And he ran his hose to this external 2-cycle fuel pump for the pulse right here. And then the input to the fuel pump, he ran a line around the back. It goes right here. And then it outputs to the carb right here. He came back around and hooked it to the carb. So that's all the fuel system connections. So what's next, Matthew?
The magneto.
All right, so we're gonna put the magneto on and we're gonna set the points for the timing. So, and we're gonna put the spark plug boots on the end of it. They're not on there yet. And we'll come back after we get that done. All right, Matthew's got his magneto on and we've set the timing with the timing tool. I have a video on that. And Matthew's put his spark boots on. All right, so that's we got the fuel system, the carburetor system, and the ignition system all installed. What's next, Matthew?
We're gonna install the flywheel, and then we're gonna put on the rewind starter, and then we're gonna check for spark.
All right, here we go. All right, here we are at day 3. Matthew has put on the flywheel, and he put on the rewind starter now. And what we're going to do now, Matthew?
Check for spark.
Let's see if we got spark. If we did everything right, we ought to have some good. Wow, look at that spark. Woo-hoo, Matthew. So what are the 3 things it takes to make a motor run, Matthew?
Spark, gas, and compression.
Correct. So we have spark and we have compression. It's unbalanced. We have compression. So what are we missing to make this motor start right now?
Gas.
So what do we have to do?
Hook it up to gas.
And pull the rope. Let's see if it starts. The moment of truth. Here we go. All right, so we've moved the motor into the barrel and we're gonna start it up. Now this is a cold start. It hasn't run before. It's a test of Matthew's restoring abilities. So I've got the carburetor set with the low speed 1.5 turn out and the high speed 3/4 of a turn out. If Matthew can choke it and start it, he's going to unchoke it, keep it at about high speed, start turning in the high speed valve to get the high speed adjusted. He's going to lower the throttle and start turning clockwise the low speed to get it running high at low speed. And we want to check to make sure that it's peeing out the blowhole and that the fuel pump is pumping and keeping it running, keeping the glass bowl full. So let's see what Matthew can do here. Good luck, Matthew. All right, now give it about half throttle and see if it'll start. Well, Matthew, congratulations.
Thank you.
It works just fine. Now, I did do the rebuild on the mag and the carb and the gear case. So the next restore we do, Matthew's going to do the rebuild. He now knows how to assemble it. So it runs pretty good for 80/50 compression. It does shake a little bit, and I think that's the compression thing, but we're going to put it on the boat in the bayou and see how that looks. I'm going to, still have to put the silencer on the front with the cover plate and paint the hood to get the final look on it, but I think it came out pretty good, Matthew. Good job.
Thank you.
You like it?
Yes, sir.
Happy man. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. See y'all next time. Remember, here at Team Mike Vintage Outboards, we do it
one motor at a time.
I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Here at Team Mike's Vintage Outboards, we're doing it one motor at a time. Please click on subscribe. I guarantee to provide weekly videos. Au revoir mes amis and laissez les bon temps rouler.